Stop playing your music on portable speakers. Animals have the right of way. Simple as that. Now, what about everybody else, though? That's where it gets a little more complicated. Contrary to popular belief, not everyone enjoys your taste in music. Okay, so this next one, I don't know that I even want to say because I know it's going to make some people mad. Autumn has officially arrived in the Pacific Northwest. And it's a beautiful day. The colors are out in full bloom. Leaves are starting to change and the trails are covered in fresh brown leaves. Absolutely my favorite time of year out here. Not only because of the beautiful colors, but also because it's a lot quieter on the trails. Hiking over the last few years has become immensely popular, I think, across the world, and particularly here in the Pacific Northwest or Western Washington, where I do my hiking. We've got a great outdoor enthusiast community, but with that comes a lot of people on the trails, and unfortunately, not always a great experience. So, having said that, here I am on a beautiful fall afternoon. I think I've got the trail to myself, but it's always a good idea to think about and remember and try and practice some basic trail etiquette when you're out there. So in no particular order, here are my 5 basic trail etiquette rules that I think we should all remember and try and practice whenever possible. You'll have a much better experience on the trail, and those that you're out there hiking with or around will also have a much better experience. Not really sure where I'm at. It's kind of cool back here. So I'm on a trail that I haven't been on before, down near the Green River, near the base of Mount Rainier. I try and stay off a lot of the popular trails just because they tend to get overrun and there's garbage starting to build up and additional footpaths and traffic that I just don't really enjoy on my hikes. So sometimes when I'm out on these adventures, I run into some of these cool things. I'm not even sure what this clearing is. This is kind of fun. There's, I don't know, about 24, looks like trees that have been cut down, limbed, topped, and turned into posts, and then remounted in the ground. The area I'm standing on looks like it was cleared at one point in time, but it's been a very long time. I don't know, maybe they use this for a festival or Renaissance fair, or who knows, but what a cool find. See? One more reason why it's fun to get out there and explore a trail you've never been on before. Okay, so back to our trail etiquette. Rule number 1 that we should try and always remember when we're out there, and that's to respect the silence. Seems kind of ironic as I'm sitting here chatting away as we're walking down a trail together. But what I mean by respect the silence is try and keep your conversations to a quiet tones if you're walking with friends. It's great to have conversation, great to enjoy and laugh and joke when you're out there on the trail, but we also want to respect everybody else that we might be out there with as well. Yeah, they're out there to enjoy the silence and kind of embrace nature all around them. Okay, let's take it one step further from respect the silence. I can't say it directly enough. Stop playing your music on portable speakers. Folks seem to think it's a great idea to strap their favorite speaker onto their backpacks and blast their tunes while they're out on the trail. Contrary to popular belief, not everyone enjoys your taste in music. Matter of fact, Most people don't. So please, stop playing your music on your speakers. If you find that you do want to listen to music when you're out there hiking, what I would recommend is put in a pair of earbuds. Keep the sound low enough that you can still hear what's going on around you. Because the last thing you want to do is get surprised on the trail when a runner comes up behind you and you don't hear him coming. Next thing you know, you're scared to death and you're jumping out of the way to try not to get ran over. Or maybe even worse, you've got a bear that's sneaking up behind you, or you accidentally walk into its path. You had no idea it was there because, well, you were rocking out to your newest top 40. So, respect the silence, keep your music quiet, and enjoy what nature's playing for you all around. Oh, look at this. So we're coming up to the Green River now. Don't know if you can see it in the background, but just an awesome day. And how awesome of a discovery is this? One of the cool things about the fall in the Northwest is it's spawning season, and the salmon are working their way up the rivers. They can lay their eggs. Just beautiful. Right. Number 2, share the trail. You're obviously not going to be the only person who decided to go for a hike. And you might not be the only person you run across on the trail either. So it's important that we always remember the basic rules of the road or rules of the trail. Here in the US, it's pretty easy. Treat it just like you're on a regular road. When you're passing other folks, you always stay to the right of the trail and give the right of way to the appropriate people. Ooh, got a caterpillar. Hey there, little buddy. Where are you going today? Sorry, got a little distracted by a caterpillar. Love these guys. Animals have the right of way. Simple as that. Now what about everybody else though? That's where it gets a little more complicated. Basic idea. Hikers give way to trail runners. Right? If you're running on a trail, hikers are going to step out of the way, let you keep moving. But make sure you announce yourself. The last thing you want to do is catch that guy with his earbuds on, blasting his music too loud, and he doesn't know you're behind him. And you sneak up behind him, and then you go, on your left! And the poor guy jumps, and he gets scared, and it's just a catastrophe. So, trail runners announce themselves, hikers give way. Bicycles technically yield to hikers. I know that makes hikers all feel warm and fuzzy because they're like, ooh, we're better than bicycles. But the reality is, it's a lot harder to maneuver on a bike. So, even though technically hikers have the right of way, just step off to the side and let the bicycle go. It'll be a lot easier for everybody. It's even more complicated when you get into horses. I don't know about the rest of the country, but here in the PNW, trail riding is very popular. And it's not uncommon on some of these more groomed and well-maintained trails to run into horses. Horses yield to no one. Simple as that. If you're a hiker, if you're a trail runner, if you're a cyclist, just get out of the way of the poor horse. Let him continue on his path. Keep your voices low. Don't make any sudden movements that might spook the poor horse. Just let him carry on with their day. So whenever you're on a hill, remember that the hiker who's coming up the hill has the right of way. So if you're descending and you come across a hiker who's working their way up trail, just step off to the side. Let them carry on with their path. And please, do not offer words of encouragement to that hiker. You don't know what their day is doing, right? Just say, hi, good morning, good afternoon, have a great day. Leave it at that. Let them keep hiking, and then you carry on with your trail. Okay, so now I'm even more intrigued. After we left the river, I looped back around on the trail, and it brought us back behind that original area where we saw the logs that were stacked. Well, here's another clearing. This one's even larger, and it has, I don't know, even more trees that have been planted like posts. They have to obviously do a little bit more research and find out what they're from. These don't seem to be in any particular pattern. They're just stuck in the ground, almost like telephone poles or beams for a barn or something. I don't know. It's kind of cool, whatever it is, but I don't know. Some more of the trail adventures you run into. I've got the whole clearing out here. I don't know if the camera's picking it up or not, but we're into it. Looks like it's obviously a man-made meadow here. The ground is covered in chips from where it looks like they've ground up trees and tree branches and laid them out in order to keep the weeds and the plant life down. And then these trees have been limbed, topped, and stuck back down in the ground like posts. Huh. Definitely gonna have to figure out what this is. Right, but that's actually a great segue. Number three, stay on the trail. Right. I say that as I'm standing here in an area where there's obviously no trail. This actually is a man-made area that I'm in. This whole park area is designed for doing exactly what I'm doing. So yes, I've kind of left the main trail, but I'm not in a sensitive area where I might be causing some damage to the plants or the local ecosystem. But it's important when you're out there on a groomed trail in a national park or a state forest that you stay on the trail, because you don't want to do anything that's going to cause damage and cause the plant life to be damaged in the process. I mean, sometimes it's pretty enticing, right? You'll be out there on a hike and you'll see a switchback, and folks have kind of cut the switchback to save a few, I don't know, what, precious 2 or 3 steps. Don't cut the switchbacks. Over time, cutting switchbacks will actually cause that trail to erode, and then it'll form a new trail itself. And there's no telling what kind of damage or long-term effect will happen by doing that. So, as enticing as it is, stay on the trail. Simple as that. Okay, so this next one, I don't know that I even want to say, because I know it's going to make some people mad. So, I'm sorry. My intention is not to make you mad. But number 4, keep your dogs on a leash. I know, I'm sorry, I said it. I know you think your fur buddies are amazing. And yeah, they're a lot of fun to have out there on the trail with you too. Bring your pets along. I highly encourage it. But keep in mind while you're out there, not everybody is as in love with your dog as you are. And not other dogs are necessarily going to be well trained. I can't tell you how many times I've been out on a hike and you'll see 2 passing dogs start to bark at each other. Sometimes it's playful, sometimes it's not. And then there's folks who are actually just downright terrified of dogs. Right, wrong, or indifferent. We need to respect them too. So keep your pets on a leash. If you're in an area that's designated for off-leash hiking, that's awesome. There's tons of those parks around. You can let them run to their heart's content and have a great time. But in national parks and state forests, the policy is pets must be on a leash. So please respect that policy. Keep your pet on a leash. Let's work on some basic trail etiquette for them too. And everybody's going to have a great day. That leads us to the other part of having pets on the trail that nobody really likes to think about. And that's that pets poop. The what are you supposed to do with it? Well, it's pretty simple. Treat it like it's your yard. Scoop the poop. There's great little bags that you can buy that you can carry and throw in your backpack. I know a lot of the leashes, there's little holders that hook onto the leash with rolls of bags that you can use, but whatever you choose to do, please pick it up after your pet does it, put it in a bag and carry it out with you. That does not mean it's okay to scoop the poop, leave it in a bag and set it on the side of the trail because you're gonna come back for it. Because let's be honest, we know you don't ever come back for it. So please, scoop the poop, pack it in, pack it out. Well, and that brings us to number 5, and that's pack it in, pack it out. Right, part of the practices and principles of leave no trace is just that, leave no trace. And that goes for your food, your snacks, and your waste. Some areas, you're still able to dig a cat hole and take care of business, bury it and move on. Other parks are going to require you to scoop it just like you would with your pet, pack it in and pack it out. But let's not forget about the other things, our banana peels and our apple cores and our candy wrappers. Right? And I'm not trying to shame anybody for this because I've done it too. Well, before I realized the impact I was having, it wouldn't be uncommon for me to eat an apple and maybe not finish the core and toss it off into the bushes thinking that I wasn't doing any harm. Well, the reality is that can take weeks, sometimes even months for that to biodegrade. And apples may not even be native to the area you're in. So why introduce something that's not part of that ecosystem? I always try and keep a bag handy. Ziploc is my preferred method. Toss your waste into the bag, zip it up, throw it into your pack, take care of it when you get home. The beauty of these bags is you can reuse them time and time again. So there is no real waste. It's just a little bit more of an inconvenience. So take that time, pack it in, pack it out. And we're going to have a much beautifuler, more beautiful. Take the time, pack it in, pack it out, and we're going to keep a beautiful park and a beautiful trail for the next person to enjoy. Trail etiquette, at the end of the day, is a pretty basic concept. Right? We want to treat others with the same respect that we'd like to be treated with, and we want to be good stewards of the parks and nature areas that we're hiking through. If we can clean up after ourselves, treat others with some basic common courtesy and respect, then we're going to have a much better experience out there. So until next time, folks, let's keep a smile on our faces, and I'll see you out on the trail. This is the part that we don't show you on YouTube. That's the number of times we run back to the camera to see if we got the shot.